Hey, welcome everybody to not a normal podcast, not part of the podcast sequence, but just a conversation with us for I don't know what you call them, close to champions. Hey, DB, me and you on the weekend.
Yeah. We got some bowling talk. We'll do some sports talk. Yeah, we got a new. Who changed the name now? That's awesome. Yeah. Had a bowling tournament on the weekend. Kerry, played well, bud.
Yeah, we played all right. It was a no-tap tournament, but it was fun.
I went through the stats. It looks like you guys played great. I mean, I played 4 games with you, but
yeah,
you did play.
But there was wind 'em up Dexter night, so we had the Boxing Day doubles at Sherwood Bowl here on the weekend, and by the what, Dexter, you bowled all 3 shifts, right?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
By the third shift.
It was nice to get 12 games in. It was good. I felt okay the next day too. It was all right, but
there was one shift. I think you started with like a 7 or 8 in a row, didn't you? In the second shift, I think you did in one game.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I did. I went 8-bagger miss, I think.
Yeah. But then I remember when you played with us, and it was just wind them up. Let's get them going. Dexter mode. Let's go. Shots and drinks and
My bar tab was well over $200.
It was
Nice
$20 a game. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
It was $20 a game. That's not bad, Dex. Not bad.
That's 4 drinks a game.
Oops.
When we were doing the awards, I said finally got something to talk about. Daryl and Kerry came in 3rd out of 86 teams. Those
absolutely
had a chance for first place, I think, near the end. And
Daryl, how about you let them in on what happened? Why we didn't?
Well, I mean, we the first game was, so it's a 4 games, no tap tournament. First game, you were 250, I was 320. Second game, I was 250. You were 300, 280, something like that.
290, I think something.
Yeah, third game.
Because Sherwood Bowl doesn't post the scores online, so it's hard for us
I have
to
it here, 297 to 250. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, right. So I felt things coming there, and you were just throwing bombs right up there, and I was kind of all over the place, dropping the ball to right, missing. Then all of a sudden, you get on a roll, 5-6 to finish. I was like, okay, we got shit together here. But then in the third game, Kerry started with 9 in a row, and they were absolute 8 in a row bombs. Yeah. Right, just right there. And I kind of hung in there, but still, you ended up shooting 415. So you missed in 9, banged out in 10 for a 415. Right, you remember that, Dex? Yeah,
no.
Remember that?
I chopped on the 9th shot.
Yeah, high game of the tournament. And then I was 230 or something, kind of struggled, but barely kind of kept it together. Then the last game, so we kind of knew from that, must have been the standings. I didn't even look at the standings all day. I didn't even look at the standings before we got there of like who had bowled good before us. Like I had no idea, right? And I was like, whatever, hanging out. We did the 5-pin U merch. Then in the last game, kind of were working. You were working pretty good early on, and then middle of the game
started with a 4-bagger, and that was about it.
Yeah, right. And I think I went miss with a couple of times, and I was like, what the fuck, right? But then I think in the 4th frame, I got a strike, 5th strike, 6th strike, and I ended up banging out for 375. And you were going good until the 8th frame.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah, you punched in 8.
Yeah.
Right? Chopped in
9. Didn't spare it.
Yeah, and didn't spare it, and then punched in 10. So, I mean, just you ended up with 1223. Could have been 1300 easy, right? But you just sort of dogged her down. I ended up with 1177. You were 1223 for 2400 on the nose, right? Thinking we're probably pretty close. Like, should be okay. Well, of course, we go up to the, went and put all of our shit away and start packing up. And none other than old Lenny Anseth comes over. Well, you guys should be good for about 5th place. Len's got it all figured out. He's got he's got his handwritten notes on his hand. He's like, no, I'm kidding. It's not his hand. It's in his head. He knows everything, right? And Len's like, well, I think that you guys are 5th, and I think Schultz is 4th, and I think that Jen Baldwin and Johnny are 3rd, and him and Akira were 2nd, and then Popowich was 1st. So he had it all lined up. I'm like, well, I guess I don't need to stay anymore, Lenny. So
that's pretty good considering he was like a hoot and 12, at least 12 rise in.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I know because I bought all of them.
But he had a pretty dialed in. But we were fifth. Len, obviously, we were third place. You guys were second, Len and his daughter, and I think they played all 3 shifts together, right?
They did, yeah.
That was awesome of them to come over, right, and play tournaments. And Lenny's just so great.
It was their first shift too that they scored.
It was their
so
first
well.
shift. Yeah, and Len had 12.99 his first shift.
Yeah.
Right, but I think
really
he said that he was playing with a hook. Len, are you still there? Did you play with the hook the whole time, or did you play? Because you were saying that with your shoulder or with something, you were saying that bowling or playing was easier playing a hook, right? So
I don't know, but he finished up on 3 and 4, and he shot well, so you can stop complaining. That's for sure.
And after he shot his 12.99, he decided that he was going to start his next shift with a different bowling ball.
Yeah, change it up, man. Change it up. Yeah.
That was before the hoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave Tracy a nice hug and apologized for missing her podcast. She's like, I can't believe you left me with those guys. She gave you guys shit though. You didn't have the Olympics on either, eh? Got to pay your cable bill. Need some more business that threw a bowl with his cable back.
Legit. But that is legit. We had all of our TV turned off because we get charged the same as a bar, so we're paying like $500 a month for TSN. So all of it was gone. So yeah, we'll bring that back before league start in September. But there's really no need.
I don't understand. Like, we're there to see people. Why do we need to have something on television? We finally get to hang out with people and have a few drinks, and we need something on television.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
For some people, that lasts about 10 minutes, and then it's like, okay, give me the TV.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
But what else did we do at this tournament while we're on the tournament is we had a 5-pin universe pop-up shop. So thanks, guys, for letting us do that. And I thought that went really well. Thank you to everybody for the support. We had really good sales. I think I got a new hat. This is now the top-selling hat, everybody. Right? This is known as the Dexter. So
he took the sticker
Dexter.
off the brim, too. He took the sticker off the brim. Oh, it's on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sticker on. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was super fun. It was so nice to see people. I mean, we had 86 doubles teams. It's crazy to see that many people in a bowling alley at this point.
Not a single piece of large underwear though, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know.
We really let that down.
Yeah, I'm a medium now, so I just say I don't think about the bigger guys anymore.
Oh my God, Len. What a weekend it was.
It was good. We kind of, you mentioned that we taught Olympics. Let's go there because, of course, we were wanting to watch the Olympics that day. I found myself the last few days having it on at the office just during the day in the background and kind of what's going on. You guys been watching any Olympics and what's sort of standing out to you?
I watched the ladies softball win bronze. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
They played really well against Mexico in the bronze game.
Bronze medal?
Sue and I were watching that, and it was raining, and she started to slip away a little bit. But we were thinking, like, how can you do that repetitively? Like, for you slow pitch players, can you, like, that's a windmill, or those ladies that, I mean, that I can't, imagine. I guess we bowl and stuff, but that's not the same movement, right? Like,
yeah, I'm guessing the rotator cuffs. It's probably why you don't see super long careers in ladies fastball or anything like that. Even men's fastball, there's some guys with pretty long careers, like playing in their 40s and 50s, but definitely can't keep up the speed with that windmill action. Your shoulder probably doesn't fare too well in the long run.
Wow, it's impressive sport for sure.
And it's closer, isn't it? Isn't the mound closer?
Yeah.
Much closer.
It's 45 feet.
Yeah, so
they're
15,
throwing 103K at 45 feet.
So what does that translate to? What does that translate to miles per hour?
Or are you operating
Canadian,
in miles now,
I don't
Kim?
care.
Why?
Are you operating miles per hour?
Well, no. Because in baseball, we watch miles per hour, right?
It's got to be like close to 70, isn't it?
Right.
I think it's 70.
Something like that. But it's closer, right? And it was so
no,
weird.
100 is 60, right?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Just over
43
60.
feet. There you go.
So we were just watching. I was watching because Robert sent me a snap of Batista. So I turned on to watch Batista play for Dominican, right? And then they had it in kilometers an hour. So it's like, oh, the pitcher throws 130 kilometers an hour, 140 kilometers an hour. I was like, what is this? Like, what does this mean? But it was a lot different. I'm finding it hard to watch some of the Olympics, only because there's no fans in the stands a little bit, right? Because it's you get engrossed into the national pride a little bit when people are waving the flags and everybody's cheering. But I have to admit that I was kind of happy to see, was it Bermuda finally won their first gold ever on the triathlon?
Cool.
I thought that was really cool.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Watching
Bermuda.
them come in, yeah, first time ever, and it was so watching them come. I think it was Bermuda. Watching ever get the triathlon gold, it was pretty cool watching her come in. So it was pretty cool.
That's awesome. I've watched all of like 15 minutes. I think I watched 15 minutes of beach volleyball yesterday.
Of course, yeah.
Was it the Norwegian team, or was it what was the attire?
It was the Swiss.
Yeah,
I think it was Swiss versus like Japan or something.
I saw the Canadians, and I was like, okay, yeah, good. It is a crazy topic, though. I mean, the uniforms and this whole debate that's going on in the Olympics. That's some of the women's sport. What is the Norwegian women's beach volleyball team or just regular volleyball team? I can't remember.
I think it was beach volleyball.
Right.
I don't know.
It's an interesting mandate. My conversation there is that, I certainly enjoy that that's their uniforms, but the fact that they actually mandate them to wear that and you have to wear that, I think that's obviously in today's cancel culture world, it's you can't do that anymore. You can't mandate them to wear small little bikinis. Like, you just can't. Like, there's all different shapes and sizes.
I guess what was the underlying ruling behind that? It's not performance enhancing to wear that style of attire instead of the other one, and they were still within uniform. They were matching. There was no.
Yeah.
It just baffles me that has become a thing in this day and age that should not even been brought up. That should have been brought to the Olympic Committee and then been like, yeah, well, sorry, that doesn't matter.
The mandatory sign of things, I think, is what's obviously offensive, right? Don't mandate me to do this. If I want to wear that, thank you. I'll wear that. And most of them will continue to wear that, right? I'm sure over time things will start to change and switch, but,
you would think they would have like a minimum amount of coverage needed, not a maximum amount of coverage, which is but it's interesting. Like, I don't know.
And obviously Pink offering to pay fines. I think there's been a couple of celebrities. I mean, it's obviously the women power movement, so it's all good there. But,
yeah, for sure. No, that's pretty awesome of her just to step up, not being from that same country or anything like that. Just like you said, for women's empowerment, and that infraction shouldn't even been an issue. So cover the costs so they don't get fined and move on.
What have I'm on the website, but what have Canadians won for? I know that's all ladies, but what are the different sports? I saw Penny Oleksiak, right? She was a bronze, and she's a swimmer that is now the most decorated.
Yeah, and she's only 21.
Right.
It's mind-blowing.
How about the Summer McIntosh?
She had
another swimmer, 14 years old, and just won something. I think she got third or something, right? Like
another swimmer.
The one before, you said, didn't she have a chance to win gold at the 200-meter freestyle, and she just fell short, wasn't it? She won bronze last time. She was really close to winning, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, judo. I saw somebody. Rowing, there's been good, right? I remember weightlifting. See, this is be part of the conversation. Thanks, people. We just set them up.
Yeah. I love watching rowing for some reason. I don't know why.
It's rhythmic. It's rhythmic.
It is. It's almost soothing. Yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah. Rowing to me is like watching speed skating.
Yeah,
I love watching speed skating.
I love watching speed
skating.
I like rowing at the gym. When I used to go to the gym, this is right. But at F45, they used to have a rower, right? And even way back in the day or whatever, I used to, I'd go sit on the rower, and it's a fun like workout, but doing it right and having to do the stuff. I mean, there's such a science to it, like all these sports. But these rowers and the stuff that the commentators are talking about, I mean, the skull, it's impressive, right?
And your core sure gets worked out for sure.
And you have to be so in unison and so precise, right? Now, what about soccer? Canadian ladies soccer. How about where are they at?
Well, I know they tied Great Britain. They had a tie. They remember,
Right.
But then on the last minute goal by Great Britain. Hey, what about the States losing? That was great.
Yeah, basketball.
Yeah.
Well, and the ladies lost in the States too. For soccer too, they lost their first game.
The ladies lost, so that was the quarterfinals that they were in today, though.
Oh, I know.
Are they
I know.
out?
I
Or did
know.
they
I
lose
saw.
the game?
I think there was a group. It was a group stage game they lost.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan there.
You just wanted to push the States down? Is that what your comment was all about?
There's nothing more
Is
than I
Stu
hate.
listening? Is Stu Ryan
Nothing
listening?
more than I
Yeah,
hate.
Stu Ryan, are you here?
Nothing more than I hate than Americans
Oh,
soccer.
Jesus. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Way to
Bad
finish
time
that,
for a
that
pause.
thought.
I think what do they call it? Do they
America.
not call it soccer? They call it football? They call it football. Football. Right?
Football.
Yeah, there's football.
What do you guys think about the skateboarding in the Olympics? I think it's awesome.
It's so mainstream now, and the amount of money that's pumped into it from the general public, and there's obviously, really good athletes that do it or at the top of their game. So yeah, I'm fine with it. It's a good one.
Didn't like a 14-year-old win?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, no, I don't know if
haven't
he
been
won.
watching.
He might have won, but he did the 1080 or something like that in the skateboard that Tony Hawk does. It was the 1060, 1040. Somebody let us know.
1080, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you hear about in the golf, which is totally cool about the golf, is the two Korean players are hoping to get medals so they don't have to do army service. Because if they get Olympic medals, they can skip army service. So they decided to skip the U.S. Open in order to practice on the golf course more often because then they don't have to do the mandatory military service.
Oh, that's crazy. Because again, Olympic medal, they get a pass on their mandatory services.
So people
Wow.
like Sunmin Bay or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He took his had to take his 2-year mandatory and he came back to tour. He hasn't been the same since, and a couple other guys have done the same thing. So
sorry, I'm winning millions of dollars, but I have to go serve in the army. Oh, I won a gold medal. I don't have to serve in the army.
They're just hoping for a bronze. That's all they're hoping for right now, right?
Yeah.
Get me on that podium.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. 13-year-old girl won the women's skateboarding. That's crazy.
I mean, obviously, they're the best in the world and they qualified, so let them. But should there be an age limit, or is 13 the minimum? Like, can you be a 12-year-old, 10-year-old? Like, is there 13? Oh.
I don't know if there's an age limit. I just know you can't. Well, I guess that's out the window now too. It used to be you couldn't be a professional, right? But that's no longer a thing, right?
No, yeah.
Who's going to win the golf?
Oh, who's going to win the golf? I don't know. Haven't really looked at it, but I like Justin Thomas. I'm not gonna lie. It'd be nice to see if Corey Connors or somebody does something, but
Or Matt Hughes is playing pretty decent from what I remember.
Have they played yet? Have they started? I saw that there was a tee sheet.
Round one is going on right now.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's
I'm trying to
live.
find this. It's not like
And
it's...
then, and what about the tennis right now? Djokovic on the one side, and then he plays the mixed doubles 2 hours later.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but he's got the easiest path ever for an Olympic gold medal. For him, anyways. When Federer and Nadal are not playing, like that's.
Do we have a Canadian playing?
Yeah, he lost in the first round. Felix Auger Aliassime or something, right?
oh
Yeah.
Felix Auger, yeah.
We didn't have Schlepashev or anyone like that.
No, he chose
So-
not to play.
Shapovalov?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he chose not to
Sorry,
play.
I don't know.
Okay, so here's the
I
leaderboard
put letters
right now.
together and hope for the best.
There's a guy from Denmark right now is in first place at 5 under, right?
Who's
So
that?
Matsuyama's at 3 under. Yeah, Joachim Hansen is leading. Thomas Peters from Belgium,
Okay.
right? Xander Schauffele's 2 under. Paul Casey's 2 under. Right? How many rounds do they play? Or is there a cut line, you think, too? Justin Thomas is even
I
at 7.
did see a thing on Facebook. It was like, oh, how the Olympic golf will work, and I didn't click on it to see how the structure was. So I'm useless in this conversation.
Corey Connors is 1 over. Yeah, Victor Hovland hasn't played. Rory McIlroy's in it too. You could do something.
Apparently, it's a no cut 4 rounds.
No cut, all 4 rounds. I like that. No matter what, you guys play all 4 rounds. Same golf course, Tim, or is it 4 different golf courses, or 2 different golf courses, or what's
I think it has to be the same golf course. I'm guessing.
Why? Doesn't have to be, does it?
I don't know.
Why? Give us a reason why.
COVID protocols, probably.
Well done. Well thinking on your feet, Tim.
Except there's no spectators. So what difference?
Of course, thanks, Tim. Yeah.
See, look.
Yeah. Tim should be on this podcast.
Yeah. Do you know what? I
we
actually
filled our quota of Tims at the moment.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Osaka got knocked out of tennis first round.
Naomi.
Naomi got knocked out.
I know where this is going, Tim. Yeah. Where's this segment going?
I'm not going anywhere.
No, lead us there, man.
Nope.
Let's segue us all the way through this.
Come on, Tim. Lead us there.
Dibs out.
So obviously, the elephant in the room, and obviously we've had conversations with this even on this podcast with the very likes of Brad Glynn and stuff like that. Simone Biles has opted out of certain events, final events for Team USA and individual all events regarding her mental health. So let's carry on that conversation.
It's tough, right? I mean, I don't know. We get stressed out as it is when we're at a national championship or in a finals of a tour event or whatever. I could not imagine the amount of stress that those people would be under at an Olympics, let alone somebody who is, like we talked earlier before podcast, who is literally the face of probably the Olympics in the States right now. She's probably the most famous Olympian there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I mean, I totally get it. She's been through a lot of shit, and if you're not enjoying it, and if it's going to be worse on your mental health, then and if you're not going to go into it with your whole heart, what are your results going to be like anyways? So if you could sit back and wait an event and then play in another event that maybe your heart is into it, by all means go for it. But your mental health first for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
like yeah. Sorry, they're kind of saying in the chat there. She was obviously with that whole Team USA with the coach situation with the sexual misconduct and stuff like that, and she obviously went through a few injuries and what Kathy said, she has nothing to prove. She's won the most medals in gymnastics by any Olympian. Yeah. What does she have to prove? And she kind of said she didn't feel in the right mind space to play or to compete in the team event in the finals, that she would actually hold the team back. So you might as well let the team compete and cheer them on and be a part of it that way. But obviously there's going to be lots of people against her because they expect her to win everything, right? So
you watched her how she handled things, watched her as a teammate. She was first class with it. We were talking a little bit before we went on podcast, and I think Michael Phelps really hit the nail right on the head when he talked about it. He was the top guy in as a swimmer, and she's the top person in the gymnastics, and you have a lot of weight on your shoulders, and then you add on what she experienced with everything else, and it's a lot to handle, right? And for her to at least admit it and know what her limits were, and say, hey, you know what, I'm not okay, and for her to handle it the way she did, it's very well done.
Yeah.
And you know what, and just to bring this back to kind of like a bowling sort of related sort of thing is, yeah, exactly, she steps off the team event, but you got to watch her being on the sidelines, absolutely emphatically cheering on her teammates. And I back to like the Open and stuff, being a bench player and being a supportive bench player who isn't pouting and who isn't feeling sorry for herself is super important. And I imagine that those guys were, very happy to have her there on the sidelines cheering them on. So kudos to her for handling that really well as well.
I might not make a whole lot of friends as I keep talking to myself here, and everybody else who's listening, but incredibly brave, courageous. What she's gone through, absolutely 100%. Traumatizing, being the number one, being the best, being the GOAT. I mean, it's a lot of pressure, absolutely. However, I feel that she, again, I'm not going to make friends, but on the biggest stage that there possibly is, I think also the injury played into part of this in herself. She's been going through stuff in the past and having this doubt and this thing and oh my goodness. And then you have Naomi Osaka not wanting to talk to media and claiming mental health illness, and that the premiere of her game. You had the ladies soccer team, Megan Rapinoe last year, right? Took it upon herself because soccer was so elevated that it was up to her to go and make a social stance, right? So with Simone Biles, then she hits the injury, right? And she did this on the beam or the vault or whatever it was, sorry. And then the doubts start coming in again. Oh darn, I'm not going to be able to compete. I'm not going to be able to do this and this. And that's when the all these demons start coming back that have been forcing it. And now she's on the largest stage possible. And where can she make the biggest impact for herself, for her team, for women all around, and for anybody dealing with mental illness, right? This is here, this is current, this is at the Olympics. I'm not saying it was pre-planned, but I'm saying at some point in time it crossed her mind that if she wanted to make a stand, this was the time to make a stand and just going to be able to say that I'm dealing with shit. And it's okay to deal with stuff. And it's okay that you're not okay, and I'm going to take a step back, right? I'm not criticizing that she actually has issues. She 100% does. For sure she does. But there's a part of me thinking that she knew that this was going to come to this, right?
Yeah.
But then she still has a couple of events to go into and to be able to compete in. I love the support that she's there for her team, absolutely. But this is again a celebrity being able to bring an issue larger to the stance, and that's what in some way they are for. I'm not. So yeah.
No,
you know what I mean?
I agree with
right?
you. I agree with you totally, Daryl. I don't think she was thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna bow out. I'm going to take my mental health into this situation and just sit back and expect the media just to leave her alone, right? She knew this was going to be a stand where she's going to have to talk about it and bring it up to everybody. And I think it's as bad as it is. You don't wish anybody to have mental health issues, but I think you're right. She took the right time, the right stand, the right podium to say, you know what, this is a thing. I'm going to be the one that's going to take it on, and the media is going to be all over about it. And maybe she's the right person to head it all, right?
It has got to be the hardest platform to do it on. Like that is
but she's gone through so much, and she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to prove anything. And she's gone through so much, but it's amazing that she has the platform to be able to bring it to the forefront, right, and to be able to talk about it. So. I give her kudos for that. I give her kudos for the way it's handled too, but not surprised, right?
Yeah.
Not surprised.
So. This is actually kind of the you kind of had to expect that something like this was going to happen at this Olympics with everything that's been coming on up to this point, and it being delayed, and COVID being a situation, and cancel culture becoming so influential and stuff like this. Like this was bound to happen, and it's actually nice to see that somebody of that stature is the one taking it on, right? It could have been
and doing a very good job at it, right? And being willing to talk to media and taking it on and being fine with it and being a good sport, right? So, a bit of the different than the Naomi approach. Naomi was the back away, don't talk to me approach because that's not good for me and I don't want to talk to people, right?
Right.
So,
two different approaches to mental health issues, right?
Yeah, she handled it with much class and dignity, and she's willing to talk about it. I think Naomi, the problem I have with it is that it's such a negative thing that she just is portraying. It feels like it doesn't have to be, but I get it if you are feeling that way. but you automatically get your guard up as soon as she said, "Don't talk to me," right? Or she puts that hard stance on things. It becomes more. I guess the media portrays her more of a diva. I guess, or it comes off as a diva, and I don't think it necessarily has to be that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, for sure. The media is a big portion of all of it, right? They're the ones that are in their faces as soon as they get off the mat or as soon as they get off the court, right? The media is right there. You got to answer 52 questions and explain what's going on, and like
42 nights a year, 82 nights a baseball play.
It's horrible.
You're exactly right. There's lots of times where I wish they would just give these guys, like, guys, girls, whatever, like, 10, 15, half an hour, 30 minutes sort of in there, just so they can regroup and recover. And you see them losing out on, like, the biggest stages of whatever it is, Stanley Cup finals and stuff, and they don't wait 30 seconds to do it. And that to me is, like, super inhumane. Like,
the old golf. We're going to start doing that at WCBT events, eh? After you lose a match, hey, right to you. Tim, how do you feel about losing again to Dexter?
What?
So yes, okay. So Scott is making this comment here. It's part of your job, and that was going to be my, like, in the NHL and those things. Yes, you know what? You're being paid to do that at the Olympics and stuff like that. No, you're not. Not really. Your job is to go out there and perform. You're not playing for. Well, I mean, you're kind of playing. You're playing for your country, but that you're not getting paid to go out there and make. Your statements.
But the Olympians they still get their interviews. They still are. So they know it's part of their gig. I think they're not. Yeah. They've done the tours and the circuits in their own sports, and they've talked to enough YouTube interviewers that they know that that's coming. But there's a little. It is part of their job. But I do have empathy when they're in a tough situation that yet again the microphone's right in their face, right, and just a little bit of empathy, sure, but there's still certain expectations in today's world. You want to make the millions, that's part of it.
I enjoy
empathy.
I enjoy the blow ups when athletes just had enough. I absolutely enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie, and honestly, they speak the truth when they do, right? You see some of the pressers. I know Lenny's a Habs fan. I absolutely love when Kucherov went off, and at his presser, I thought it was absolutely hilarious because I'm not a Habs fan, but I love when you guys have those kind of characters and they're just speaking their minds, right?
This is why Ilya Bryzgalov is my favorite. My favorite player.
But then you have Connor McDavid that's born into a media circus, and he has no personality at all. And he just says his one-liners and just goes on for his job, right? So, media can twist anything you want to say and make it whatever they want. Right?
We're gonna start doing that at WCBT events. At the end of the day, after your shift too, after you miss the cut by blowing through the hole, right? You're gonna have to come over and talk to one of us and do an interview live on camera.
We did it to Mark Miller.
Who's
gonna be our Faraday then? Somebody has to be our Faraday.
Yeah. I will. I'll be around there. I'll ask the question. Come on over, guys. Yeah, you gotta go talk to BB.
One last thing before we move on from this, I kind of do agree with Len's comment, saying that the media doesn't treat women the same way they do men. That's 100% true. Like, if you're interviewing a guy and he didn't want to answer questions and he tells the media he's not answering questions, the media usually lets that go. They don't treat that guy any differently till the next time they interview him. Where if a lady does it, they're instantly said, like Tim said, they're a diva. They're having problems. Why is it such a difference? If they don't want to answer questions, leave it alone. Move on. Did that to the guy. Like it's
I get what you're saying, but you've also seen
a double-sided coin.
Reporters and guys going back and forth at it, right? They do joust a bit and kind of get at. So I've seen lots of
Torts and
that type of thing, right? So, but there's a different stigma to ladies and how they treat them, for sure.
Yeah, talk about divas. What about Aaron Rodgers, eh?
Wow,
man, Aaron Rodgers, what a diva! Finally shows up to practice.
What are they in? So what's football in right now? Are they in preseason training and everybody's there?
OTAs, off-season training, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he just blew up something about the front office and said something about like Green Bay is not a vacation spot. People come here to play with me.
Yeah, that's
You know
what
what?
that's what
You
he
know
said
what?
today.
He's got a point. We flew to Chicago to go to Lollapalooza, and like we had to detour around a storm, and we were forced to land in Green Bay of all places. And I thought it was landing in Vegreville. We were literally landing next to cows.
Yeah, it looked. Yeah, it was not anything to write home about. But
It was unbelievable.
But that being said, okay, this is a good topic. Professional athletes sign a contract, right? They sign a contract. Where do we come nowadays generation where they don't want to fulfill that contract? You see that a lot with NBA and NFL players nowadays. They sign a contract for X amount of years, and you're like, you know what? I don't like it here. I want to request a trade. I'm sorry. You signed that contract. You should be able to fulfill that
Hey,
contract.
Tim, you know what it is? Great players associations.
Yeah.
It's the players associations protecting them, right? Like that. If the NBA association or MLB or NFL having all these problems, they're a private organization. Take some power away from the players associations, right? Like these players associations are protecting the players so well that the players decide what's going on nowadays, and they've taken away from the private organizations.
Yeah, and the worst of them all is LeBron James. He freaking he just runs his whole team. Like, why do they even need a coach? He's GM, he's coach, he's everything.
But
Drives me
he's
crazy.
only been to the finals 8 times in a row, except for this year. So I mean, he's LeBron James, but he's the best top 2 basketball players ever to play the game.
Yeah, it's really easy when you could pick all the other best players to go with you.
Whatever, he's nowhere near the.
It's playground basketball.
It is playground basketball.
Grant and Harden and these guys putting together their
These
teams.
super teams are just making
Sure,
it
he's
look
2 or
crap.
3
Yeah.
players. He's not a
But you know what?
player, Steph Curry or whatever.
So
Kudos
super
to the
teams,
Bucks.
super teams in the finals today.
How'd they do?
No,
How'd
it's
they
not
do
a
this?
super team
Do you
in
know,
the
it
finals.
No, I know.
It was super nice.
It was super nice
Giannis.
to see the Bucks win. And you know what? Giannis said the same thing. He was like, you know what? I don't even care if I win another one. We won, we did it, and we did it the right way. Kudos to him.
Did you see Giannis? His name is Giannis.
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 Is it? Yeah.
Honey, we're just bullshitting.
I'm not Greek. Like I don't know.
How about poor Chris Paul? He's never gonna hoist a trophy. That poor guy.
What, is he 0 for 4 now in the finals?
He's 0 for 1.
What?
He's 0 for 1.
Oh no, he's been in the finals 4 times.
No,
Yeah.
he hasn't been in the final. With who?
Yeah, he has.
No, Clippers never went to the finals. Houston never been to the finals for him, and the Pelicans
Look it up
or
right now.
or the Hornets.
I thought I saw that.
I'll
I don't know.
bet
The Carries are.
you all a beer. I'll bet you all a beer. He never made the finals until this year.
We all know how good you are
We're about to
repaying
find
your
out.
bets, Tim.
Come on, Carrie. Come on, Carrie.
Just letting you know, you
find
owe me a
out,
beer, guys. Yeah, I'll put it on your tab.
I believe there's something about Chris Paul want to play with the Lakers next year with LeBron James.
DeRozan's going to go there too.
Yeah, apparently
Perfect.
Lowry is too.
Antetokounmpo. There we are.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I can't say that. I can't say that.
Oh, Kerry can't find it.
Why is this so?
Well, maybe that's what it is, Lenny. Hold the record for most series lost after being up 2 then. Maybe that's what it was. He's 0-4 4 times that's happened to him.
Yeah, it was the first time he's made that.
That's crazy.
He never made it with the Suns.
It was his first
Oh,
year with the
that's
Suns.
this year's first year with the Suns. That's right. Yeah.
Speaking of contracts, Tim, how about any of these new contracts signed today in the NHL? Who's happy with their team and the trades and the free agency today? Did anybody do something good? Montreal, what'd they do? Toronto? Winnipeggers, are you guys happy? What's going on out there?
I think Edmonton did very well. I thought.
Yeah, I'm happy with what Edmonton's done for sure. We still need a goalie, but if we want to talk about trades and goalies right now, why is Marc-Andre Fleury consistently the most disrespected goaltender of all time? Len, I am not wrong on that. Like, no, I love Marc-Andre. That guy gets the shaft all the time, and it blows my mind, this trade.
Do you think he actually found out by Twitter?
Yes.
Because Brad McCrimmon or whatever, the GM, came out and said that he did find out by Twitter.
Really?
Yeah,
That's garbage.
Yeah,
It absolute garbage, and shipped off for nothing. Blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. And you know what? I would not blame Fleury if he decides that he wants to, call her quits or retire after that. Blows my mind. But he's going to Chicago. Chicago is a solid organization. They made a bunch of moves today too. You start getting Taves back healthy and whatnot. Maybe that team puts together a good run for him. So that would be nice to see. But I also wouldn't be I wouldn't blame the guy at all.
But there's also talking about him going to Pittsburgh, apparently.
yeah, they could be flipped. I think he wants to go back to Pittsburgh.
Did Winnipeg do anything? What did they do?
They re-signed Stastny for $3.5 million, and they picked up Nate Schmidt from
right. They've been wanting
Winnipeg.
Schmidt for a few years now, and finally got him, right?
And they picked up Dylan from Washington.
Oh, Brendan Dillon. Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
so they shored up their defense. So they did pretty good for themselves.
What did Vancouver do?
Well, actually, funny thing is,
Travis Hamonic, they had a few re-signings, eh?
Here, this is actually a good one. Somebody posted this on Twitter. 2020 Canucks post-draft off-season. Re-sign Virtanen, sign Holtby, trade a third for Schmidt. 2021 Canucks postseason off-season, buyout Virtanen, buyout Holtby, trade Schmidt for a third.
They signed Yaroslav Halak, though.
Yeah, you know what? That's okay. That's okay. You know what?
Tucker
I think.
Poolman?
Sorry.
Tucker Poolman, a defense. Nick Patan.
Some B-list players.
What do you think about the Wild buying out
Luke Shen.
Parise and it was Parise and Suter, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's absolutely crazy. Stupid.
Suter had a big contract he signed in Dallas.
Yeah, that guy's gonna be
three and a
making
half.
he's gonna be the highest paid player in the NHL right now.
They're going to be.
He's gonna be making $14 million a year between his new contract
right.
and his old contract.
He's going to get bought out twice.
Here, so
Crazy.
So at one point for the next, Parise and Suter are going to have almost $15 million in buyouts
Wow.
against the cap for
Crazy.
2 years, for up to 4 years. That's just crazy. They're going to have. I think
Mike
so.
Hoffman signed in Montreal. 3-year,
Yeah.
4.5. That's a decent one for them.
Yeah.
Oilers got to be happy though, right? At the end of the day, I mean, the new pickups. You got Duncan Keith. You got Zach Hyman was our big one today. 7-year, 5.5 mil. Derek Ryan from Calgary, third line center.
Yeah.
Right. You got Warren Fogle. Of course, Tyson Barrie. Right, re-signed.
And Cody Ceci.
Cody Ceci's a new one too. Yeah, I think the goalie might be the thing, but at the end of the day, they're not. It's not the worst if they go with Koskinen and Smith. Right? There's been a ton of goalies moving around out there, but are they better? Whew. I mean, Grubauer, sure, but he's a six. You need a stud young guy, and that might be Skinner, right? If maybe they can work him into the mix, or a Stalock, right? I don't know.
You look at Toronto got Mrazek with so I don't know what's happening. Where did Anderson go? Is there
He
Anderson
went.
still
He went to Carolina.
Oh, he did go to Carolina.
They
yeah.
swapped. They
That's
swapped.
crazy. Like I don't know. Like I think Mrazek would have been I like Mrazek. I think he's
Agreed.
a really great young goaltender.
He went for 3.8 mil a year.
Yeah.
So you know what is crazy? I mean, how do you guys feel about that Ethan Bear trade?
Yeah, I mean, we got the guy. We got a third line center. We were going to be already deep at right defense because they sorted out, dealing with that. So it's okay, right? They justified the means who they got for the replacement. Obviously, there's the social side of it too, and the what he was going to be dealing with here in the media. I mean, he was just another one of those guys that was like, there's going to start to be a lot of stuff thrown at him, I think, right? And they already dealt with it at the end of last year, and it's kind of a bunch of bullshit. A guy shouldn't have to deal with that, but yet.
He handled it very
well. He's a professional. He gets paid millions of dollars, so you're gonna have to deal with that type of stuff. Everybody does. So, but at the same time, we covered our asses, so it's okay.
Yeah, super interesting that Carolina picked up Tony DeAngelo. If you guys don't know who Tony DeAngelo is, and maybe this could be a bowling topic as well. Tony DeAngelo was a locker room cancer in New York Rangers, and he went after the goalie, and he was very derogatory to a lot of his teammates, and so they actually sent him down to the minors. He was a very good young player, and they signed him to a big contract, and they kind of just put him off on an island, and they bought him out, and so they put him. So anyways, they bought him out, and then Carolina picked him up this year for a 1 year contract, right? So that's a real it's, I don't know. Do you want those guys in your locker room? Like, I don't know. Like, how many chances? Because this guy was an issue in college. This guy was an issue in junior. It was an issue everywhere he's gone, right?
Can't say got to be on the last option and last thing. I mean, it's going to be a problem. You're going to get rid of him in a hurry.
I know. It's crazy. I guess that's a tough thing. I guess so. In bowling terms, how do you deal with that on a team?
Yeah, I guess. Is it a year long? Is it a league team that you're on? That when you have the opportunity, then you just say, okay, you're not fitting with the team. If it's a tournament type of a thing, you sort of have to deal with it, unfortunately, for a few days, or you get to a point, no, you're immediately done. Has that happened before? Right? Has a guy offended another team member that you simply said, you're off the team, man? That's unforgivable.
You know where you might be able to find information on that for bowling? In Tom Patterson's new book. Yeah, I didn't realize it that was official. So, thank you. See, that's how you do transitions.
Yeah. I was just gonna pull it up here.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was ready for that. So thank you for the heads up, Kathy. I just found it on. Looks like Jeff Young shared it. So his Success Driven Logic is now available.
Nice.
Pricing includes option 1, $45 for the book. Option 2 is the companion workbook that goes with it, which is $25. Or if you buy both, it's $60 for the combination of it. So if you guys are looking for it, go to Tom Patterson's Facebook page. All the information's up there. Or if you can't find it, send us a message. We can send you guys all that information too.
Nice work. Congrats, Tom.
Yeah, that's awesome. 347 pages and 11 chapters. Amazing. That's something that our game absolutely needs. So, yeah, fantastic.
At Tim's reading rate, what would it be? A page a day? That takes you a year, Tim?
Fuck, I can't even tell you. You know what? Tom really threw me for a loop when he didn't put any pictures in there.
There's got to be some pictures.
Tim lives off diagrams.
Diagrams and pictures. Yeah.
That's why Tim loves IKEA so much.
So sticking on bowling and on Tom and conversation, is there any camps that they're doing this year? Is there any Saskatchewan bowling schools? Is there Edmonton, Alberta? Is there any Ontario? Is there any of those throughout the summer here? Or are we just sort of waiting until...
Yeah, nothing this year. They were just we didn't know how the opening was going to run, so a lot of the camps got kiboshed this year, unfortunately.
Yeah. So what do we have to look forward to then? Obviously, is the league coming up, regular leagues coming in September, right? And then first WCBT tournament. What other types of tournaments do we know of right now that are sort of as we get the season going? There we go.
We have our 8-gamer.
The 8-gamer.
We gotta get the 8-gamer going, don't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that look like?
Lots of requests for it. Obviously, we got to find a weekend that is viable for everybody. So, I hate to say it, with summer camping and all that stuff kind of wrapping up in late August, early September, we're shooting for middle September, late September, hopefully. Obviously, we don't want to have any conflicts with bowling centers that need to make money after this COVID situation. We're going to try and work with everybody, but we're going to try and get it all done within one weekend and get it out of the way. We have some travelers that had to travel to other bowling centers to play during the pandemic, so we got to try and accommodate them too.
I think that was the original plan, right? Was to get it all done in a weekend and 2 days of filming and streaming and all that stuff. So that'd be great that we could do that late September. You're right. As leagues get back in, people have a chance to play at their centers, at their own leagues, at their own go and practice if they needed to. right?
Yeah.
Get their game tip top. I mean, it'd be tough to run something such premier quality in summer when you haven't practiced. So
The
you
great,
want
the
to
great,
adjust it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The great thing about the tournament is you have maybe 3 or 4 players that have qualified out of a center. So, and they're staggered event or staggered matches. So they're only taking up maybe one lane or one set of lanes at a bowling center. And obviously they got to work out that with their center. They got to pay for the lineage and stuff like that. But hopefully it doesn't eat up too much of the center's time, and they'll be able to compete, and everybody will be able to watch it live stream and all that good stuff. So
in the next, say 2 weeks or so, we want to tentatively have a date that we can plan for.
Yeah,
Right.
I was hoping to wait till after August long weekend so everybody can get their fun on for the long weekend, and then we can start getting down to business and start getting that all available.
Yeah, good. And then other thing, obviously, through this 5-Pin U is the Pro Team League. What's the start date or the plan or schedule? Are we,
Yeah, that's a great question. Now that leagues are coming up here shortly and stuff like that, we got to find time that these centers don't have leagues on the same time of days, and it's gonna be a lot more hassle now that obviously everything had to be prolonged to open, right?
Yeah.
If all the centers across Canada were open in June, we would have probably had it done by now. But
so we'll likely start that after the 8-gamer. Let's get that one done, and then we'll start the schedule of it. Maybe so. Look for early October again as seasons get going, leagues get going, people start playing, and then we'll build the schedule that works for everybody so that we have enough long-term notice that if we need to change a date, we can accommodate.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then, do we know of any Vegreville, Stettler has a drop in? Any of these guys, or anyone else has a local tournament across the country that you want to plug right now? Throw it in the comments.
Well, I know Striker Lanes up in Vermillion's having a tournament coming up. There's Summer Bowl Spiel.
Bonnie Doon is still running its
August
drop-in
20th,
doubles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then Heartland Bowl is still running their drop-in till August 11th, I do believe. So if you haven't got in, get into that.
Good. Speaking of Heartland, they're doing a cool little thing with a movie theater in town. Saw that get shared around today. Good for you guys. Good for being creative and doing something outside the box, and obviously recognizing a pro team and having a joint little marketing effort there for the bowling center and the movie theater. Good on you.
I just have one question about it. Why did they choose the Big Lebowski over Kingpin?
Because in order to get Kingpin was a lot more expensive for the movie theater to be able to show it. Yeah.
Oh, I figured it'd be similar. They're both old, right? Nah.
No. The Kingpin rights were a lot more expensive than the Big Lebowski.
Makes sense.
So if people don't know that, theaters have to pay franchise fees in order to bring certain films to their centers, and especially if they're not new films, if they're older films and they want to bring them back, they still have to pay a franchise fee to bring them in. So hence why you don't see a lot of smaller theaters bring old movies back in, because it gets expensive apparently.
But that's super neat though. Yeah, awesome. I love the fact that they're doing that. What a great way to promote their team and the game, and yeah, awesome. They're gonna be sitting in there signing autographs. I think that's super cool. That's awesome.
And then obviously Autumn Open, we'll get to that one, Kerry, but let's do a couple of tournaments there. Autumn Open is Thanksgiving weekend. People in there, and then obviously on the East Coast, there's the club tour event at Nebs. What are people playing? Anybody listening right now in the comments, are you going to play one of those tournaments? Are you going to come out to Calgary for WCBT? Or if you're in the East, do you play the Nebs event? So it'd just be kind of good to see what's happening. Obviously, what WCBT, 200 entries is the goal, right? Something, right?
No, I think, Carrie, that was for...
I was like, what's that about?
That was for the bowling school.
Yeah.
That was for the bowling school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank God. I was like, what?
Context.
Actually, I would have laughed because I was like, Daryl just paid for a flight for nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can cancel that. Yeah, so are you playing the Autumn Open, or are you playing a different tournament, or what's the first big tournament that you guys are going to play? So I've got to be looking forward to, especially to after the Boxing Day and even Toppler doing their event. I mean, super excited to play in a tournament. WCBT or the Club Tour is going to be a premier event. I mean, you see some reinvigorated people down east that are talking about it and the plans there. So just awesome to see organized bowling in tournaments, right? Coming up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
going to be pretty cool to see, especially everybody from all over the country again, but also to see the competitive atmosphere come back. A lot of people that don't play other sports probably didn't get it during the summer. People that play ball and stuff, we were lucky enough to get back into it, but bowling really suffered, and hopefully we get to see the competitive juices running. We know Lenny's geared up for everything, so
Yeah.
Right.
If there's one thing we saw from the weekend was that everyone is excited to get back bowling. So
Yeah. Just
I'm expecting some
ball.
like. The only thing that we need to hope for is we need to hope that some of the flight prices start going down.
Yeah.
apparently flights are cheaper right now.
Oh,
I didn't check
It
today.
depends on the weekends that you're looking for, but I know like TPC was pretty expensive there for a little while, so hoping that starts going down here. But
To come into Edmonton. Yeah.
yeah, or we gotta hope that Flair and Swoop start running their flights a little bit more often again too. But
Yeah.
because for a while there we were getting like $115 round trip on, what was it, Flair or Swoop? It was one of them. It was crazy.
Swoop, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was
So-
250 or something like going to Ontario.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
what do you guys think as 5-Pin Universe? Do we do the Timmins Regina thing or what? Do we make the trip out to Timmins, show them how to bowl out east, and then come back for Regina the next weekend? Or
It would be nice to like show that Greg DeGrazia isn't the only one that could bowl there.
it's Greg's house apparently.
Apparently, that would
That'd be fun.
be awesome. Yeah, never been able to get out there, so that would be neat for sure.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to get out to a Duckpin Tour event this year, but obviously with the pandemic and stuff, we can't do that. But maybe Timmins might.
We get a
try.
motorhome.
Yeah.
We get a motorhome and drive to Timmins. Cross country tour and stop at a few bowling alleys on the way. What do we need, a week off work?
Daryl,
in the middle of winter.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you remember the drive to Fort St. John? How many beers we went through that? We got to have multiple stops on the way to Timmins.
5-Pin U does not condone that.
Yeah, we don't condone any of what
We
you
need
just
we
said.
need a driver. Yeah. At our stops, not while we're driving.
Need a party bus. That goes all the way out there.
I heard the E5
I'm
was
sure.
buying a bus, so
Maybe we get a party bus that takes us to Regina. Okay.
That
20
would be
people.
all right.
Maybe we need to auction off
prices
spots.
stay
Yeah, auction off spots to come.
Oh, that'd be the worst. You're gonna have some Joe Blow you don't want to be sitting beside you. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Seats taken. You can't sit here.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. You can use the alcohol for antifreeze.
Let's go back to the question from Steve Greenside, I think.
That's it.
Maybe
There
we'll
you
talk a little bit of that side of things. If anybody else has a question, I like it, Steve. But bowling
bad
question.
shot.
Yeah. Is a head pin a bad shot or bad luck? Love to hear everyone's opinion. I think it's
It's a
different.
Shot. Bad
It's
shot.
It's not a bad shot. I think
It is.
it's sometimes the line just something's there, but there's also the component that it's a bad shot and it was just a brick. But there's times that you throw the ball real well, but it's just
You still
Crap.
threw it. If you
You
threw
threw
it
the wrong
really
spot,
well
yeah.
and it's in the wrong spot, that's still a bad spot. It's still a bad shot.
No, it's a
still
bad spot.
I take some wins out of throwing a head pin sometimes. Like, that's a good ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't know.
I-
I think majority of the time it's a bad shot. I think, me personally, majority of the time it's a bad shot.
I don't
Only time-
think so.
Only time it's not a
I-
bad
I
shot
think
is
it's
the
just-
12th.
yeah.
12th shot. Only time.
I think it's a bad spot. Like Dexter, you just said, if you're punching, you're probably just missing, right? So I guess you could categorize it as a bad shot, but it probably still has everything you need on it. You just missed your spot. It's not bad. It's just an adjustment you need. It's not like if you punch 12 times in a row, yeah, it's a bad shot. Stop doing it. But one time, it's probably not. It's just that you just need to make an adjustment off it. It's not bad.
How quickly do you want to make an adjustment off of that, though? Because, like, I'm going to say, okay, so you're throwing strikes and then you punch. Is that okay? So you didn't hit your target, or you put the ball down, or something like that. You're not making an adjustment off of that. You want to go back to throwing the same shot you did before. Therefore, it was a bad shot.
No, I think it depends on the player, because when I punch in groups. So usually it is an adjustment that needs to be done. If you're punching once every 6 frames and you're striking in between, it's still not a bad shot. You're still playing well. Like
I don't know. Most
I don't
times
think
when
it's bad. A bad shot is a 3-pin. That's a bad shot.
There's times though I throw a really good ball and like it just tracked or moved. I'm like, oh, that felt so good. But there's also times that you drop it, or you do something and you don't put your fingers on it, and you know it's a bad shot. And you're like, ooh. There's also bad shots. You still get strikes, right? So
Oh, totally, 100%.
you know, there's that's a bad shot, but I got away with one. So there's also good shots that you don't get away with one.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think most of my head pins, I lay the ball down, or I punch it in the line, or I'm too fast. I push it out. I just, you already know just by my release it's going to be a brick half the time, right? So I think most of the time it's a bad shot. Just for me, I can tell. And if I get lucky, then I get lucky on it, right? So most times I'm not really too upset about aces because I get lucky off it.
Yeah, yeah. Aces can go either way. You know, you burr it in a pocket, and you get aces. That's shitty aces. You throw it like right on the nuts, and you get bonus 6 pins. You know, bonus 6 pins. That's all right. Like,
I think I got aces on Saturday at Sherwood. I'm pretty sure.
I got aces. Yeah.
I think I did too, except mine was in the pocket.
Yeah, yours is a
Typical
bomb.
Sherwood Bowl.
Typical Sherwood Bowl. You have a history of that everywhere you go.
Paradise
At some point, it's your shot.
Do you know what? Okay. Yeah. No, I watched a bunch of people this weekend with a no tap, and they're throwing a hook ball from the right, hitting the left pocket, not carrying the left corner pin, and they're like, "Oh, I got ripped." But you got a no tap off it, and I was like, I can never carry corners here. Well, physics tell you you're not going to carry the left corner.
Yeah.
I was like, just makes my head shake. I just like, okay, whatever.
I had to work hard to find the line. Not playing for a lot, it was like,
Yeah,
it was not pretty on some shots.
Daryl, I actually came up to Dexter before the second shift. I said, I haven't even hit the middle. I hit everything on the left side. What do I do? I actually looked at Dexter. I don't even know what to do. I haven't even hit the middle.
Dexter's probably the wrong person to ask at that
35 balls, 35 balls left 3-pin. Like there was nothing I could have done. And then then the first ball I threw was a strike. I was like, thank God.
Daryl, I was okay. I still managed to make sure that the tournament ran. I got everybody entered. I fixed the problems with the computers. We were good. I like Kevin's question here, but I think. Well, at least I have a completely different opinion on this. Do I walk around a stall after like I punch or something like that? Nope. I get up there, pretend nothing happened, shoot for the sides, and make no big deal of it at all. Because in most situations, people see that, they're like, "Oh, here's my opportunity," and they'll jump on it. The only person that I might do that to is Mitch Davies, because Mitch cannot handle having a head pin up there. He hates it. He will wait forever until somebody else throws after that. So for Mitch, I will absolutely do that.
Don't you do that though? Somebody's quickly gets a head pin and you're kind of on something. You'll let them go throw the first one and then just throw the third one and get it out of the way. They want to sometimes get it out of the way quick too, right? They don't want to stand and wait for it and have to throw at my right 3-2 when you're on a 5-bagger next to me. They just slow her down a notch, bud, and I'll finish my shit beside you, and then you can move on, right?
Yeah, prime example. As soon as I punch, I try and get up there right away, and hopefully the person beside me that's got a full rack sees that, and they just let you go up and finish your frame, right?
Yeah,
and nothing worse than standing there and looking at your own head pin.
Okay, but I want to throw this at you guys. It makes me always wonder, especially during the league, what do you think you would average What do you think you would average if you actually took your time picking the sides?
I'm
How many more?
Still accurate.
How many more pins? I think I probably average another like 5 to 8 pins higher during league.
So
Yeah,
you'd finally hit 250.
Yeah,
I think I'd be better altogether if I made spares and picked my pin. But I think everybody would be though, right? So.
I'm not gonna lie, because I rip a lot of deuces and I throw through the hole a lot of times, and I sit back and I was like, man, I actually could really be half decent. And the worst part is with that logic, I take it over into a tournament sometimes and I catch myself, right? Like when I'm doing qualifying shift, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Right? And I was like, okay, I really have to like tone it down because I don't want to miss the cut by 10.
You practice how you play.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'll shoot at my sides quicker, which is weird to say, but like I will still make full effort for my pins at all times. Because honestly, every time I miss what I'm aiming at, I get this like weird feeling of like guilt or like anger or something. If I'm shooting from my side and I throw it through the hole again, I feel dumb right away, and so I hate that feeling. So I make effort on shooting.
I did that last on Saturday too. I definitely.
I'm sure I did too.
Yeah, but you're right though. I mean, that's what's going to make you better is by sparing and by picking your wood. I mean, it's just a fact. So practice that and get better. If you want to be better, that's how you get better. Not by throwing more strikes. Sure, by throwing more strikes sounds dumb, but at the end of the day, pick your wood and make your spares. Second and third shots make 20 pins, 30 pins of difference every game, guaranteed. Right?
I think you and Tim would be on the same boat here, Lenny.
No, you wouldn't.
All right. Well, with that being said, Tim, just read Success Driven Logic, and you'll probably learn how to pick those head pins up.
Good word.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining the conversation this week. I know we didn't have a guest on, but we thought we'd tidy up some tournament stuff and have a conversation with all the Olympics and all that good stuff going on. I think it was good.
Yeah, just a little chit chat with everybody. So good to chat and sort of middle of the summer. So enjoy your holidays, everybody. I'm off tomorrow to Kimberley, so gonna go and head out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick poll for everybody out there watching right now: is hash browns a breakfast food? Because to me, hash browns is a breakfast food. Just let us know. Just let us know in the comments. Just let it.
If you're gonna explain the actual meal, you're an idiot. Hash brown casserole. Hash brown casserole.
Hash brown casserole. That's breakfast. Hash browns.
Your
breakfast.
pants are weird.
A nice skillet, though. A good skillet, right? Ooh.
Right.
Tater tot. Are tater tots hash browns or are they potatoes?
No, Len. No.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good week.
See ya.